What the is we doing?
Welcome back. Here we are again, episode 4. Cheers. I'm gonna let Randy pick the topic for today.
Just because, we definitely look like we're wearing the same clothes. This is following from the last topic. To today, following up from what we talked about, we're going to do New Year's resolutions. So, one of the things when we first started is that we had 3 topics, right?
Right.
It was fitness, finance, and then what was life?
It was just news, like financial news. No, it was personal development.
Yeah, there you go.
Finance, and then fitness.
All right, so today we bring back fitness, and today we talk about,
New Year's resolution
yes.
within the realm of fitness, though.
Yes. So, how are you doing with your New Year's resolutions?
I'm pretty consistent. Like, my ultimate goal for just eating well, going to the gym, is to be healthy and just not age as quickly as I can imagine some people do, or like get fat at the time I'm 30.
Yep.
So for me, it's more of a keeping it healthy, keeping my body, able to run, endurance, building endurance, building muscle, and also eventually building a good body, like good looking body. I mean, I'm like beer belly, but that's another topic for
Neither
another
here
day.
nor there.
Yeah, I think like if I were to commit to like literally getting in shape, like just like the physical aspect of it, I will let beer out or just like the carbs. But that's not really my goal. My goal is just to be healthy. I don't know if that's
Well,
good.
still drinking beer.
I still drink beer. I still drink alcohol. Here and there, I still eat pizza, fast food here and there. That's a consistent thing. Like, usually for my food, I cook my own during lunch when I'm working from home. In the office, they are pretty healthy food during lunch, and then dinner usually is something small. So that's my 2 meals a day. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, no catch any disease, like like serious disease like diabetes or like obesity or this stuff. So whatever it takes me to not be the doctor, whatever it avoids me going to the doctor for serious stuff, I'm in.
Yep.
So my resolution ultimately is to keep it going. Since last year, I was very consistent with the gym. I go in the mornings, 3 to 4 days a week. This time, I'm trying to change it up a little bit. I'm trying to do push pull, and legs, but also integrate 2 extra days. So one day either do swimming, and the other one do boxing. So that way it's a full body workout, and the other one is just cardio. Just because I like swimming, and it has so many benefits out of it. So I'm trying to make my schedule work around that, since whenever I come to the office, I spend less time in the gym than when I'm working from home.
Right.
So yeah, that's so far it's been good. Like I mentioned, I took some time off because I was in Ecuador.
That's
So
okay.
it's always gonna happen. I feel
Yep.
like with me, that whenever I go traveling, I usually don't do much exercising, and I tend to eat like a lot. So, but yeah, no. Going back to the routine, I've been 2 weeks since my vacation. I haven't had any trouble. Sleep. That's my issue. But yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
What about you?
So, in relation to my New Year's resolutions in the realm of fitness, hasn't been going great. I haven't been consistent with my workouts. Mostly because, I work at a gym, so my day is just fitness in general.
Right.
But for me, it's more on the business side of it now, more than anything else. So I've been very focused on that. But regardless of that, I've been doing a lot of movement, a lot of moving of the weights, organizing the gym, re-racking stuff. So most of the time, I'm pretty much getting a workout every day that I'm at the gym. It's just not structured and organized in the same way you would when you're working out in a program or doing something with a trainer.
Right.
Which actually brings up an idea or just like a thought, right? So one of the reasons why most people fail with their New Year's resolutions is because they just cannot stay consistent with it, right? Life gets in the way and everything kind of just, falls apart, and then eventually you just stop going altogether.
Right.
That, in its totality, just tells me that your life is not structured in such a way where fitness is something that is prioritized.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, life and circumstances dictate how things are going to go, but you have to figure out a way to make fitness something that is a priority in your life. That is the only way you can be healthy and fit and make this something that's long term, right? Because otherwise, life will always get in the way, your work will always get in the way, family always gets in the way, and you won't figure out a way to work out or exercise or do what you need to do, simply because there's always stuff that happens, right? And now you're tired, right? It's the end of the day, you're tired, you don't want to go to the gym, and you don't want to work out at home, and you don't want to do anything other than just sit on the couch and eat food.
Okay, so going back to that, I think like the way that it worked for me, because I've been doing this for almost 6 months now, because I started last year, and I mentioned to you. But I think it's having a clear goal to what it is that you're working out for or going to the gym for. Is it that you want to look good? Is it your health? Like mine personally is health. Or is it that, you just want to, because ultimately a gym to me also I see as a social environment. Like, do you want to meet new people? You want to interact with friends, like make friends out there. It's a good way to meet people as well. Really interesting people.
Like on the higher echelon, right? So like if you start going to gyms like Equinox and Lifetime Fitness, right? Like that's where like the people that value their health and also are really good with their business go there, right?
Exactly.
Whether they work for like Google or Amazon and they're just like a high-end employee, or they're somebody that has their own business, they're like an entrepreneur. Like that's where these people go because they value their privacy and they value just the gym etiquette that's in these kind of high-end gyms, right?
Right.
So if you want to meet people, that's definitely where you want to be.
Like the network that it brings. Like Equinox is a really good example. I wouldn't really put down your gym, New York Sports Club.
Oh no.
Because I go there too. But I like I mentioned, I think I told you this once that I actually met somebody who works as a data science, and she did not look like a data scientist, but it was amazing that we just clicked, we just started talking about stuff and like that. And like it's a good connection that to have like in your network. Like,
You never know when you're gonna talk to her again or meet her again.
yeah, and I see her, she's a regular, so I feel like once you become a regular, you start looking at the same faces.
Yeah.
Cause like even the receptionist at my gym, like he's really good vibes, by the way, shout out to you. He's like, yo Mike, good morning. It gives you the energy. Like for me, I go in the mornings, I prefer that, cause like you mentioned, after a work day, I don't see myself going to the gym. I go in the mornings like 5:30, 6 latest, I'm there already. So usually it's actually very crowded, believe it or not. Like there are days
You got the morning people.
yeah, there are days that there's some machines that I cannot utilize because it's packed. Like if I'm hitting legs, all the racks are taken. So I gotta figure out to use dumbbells or some other stuff, and it changes my routine. That's why I don't really go with a program saying like, I'm gonna do legs, I'm gonna do this workout, then I don't go. I'm just like, I need to target this muscle, I need to do an exercise related to that. That's how I usually go about it.
Right,
But-
and like that again goes to like you figured out a plan
Mm-hmm.
that you can integrate fitness into your daily life
Yeah.
or most of the days of the week, right? Most of the time people don't do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that might just be because they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the experience. Like for me, like I'm a personal trainer by trade, right? I'm a manager in what I am now. But when I'm just a trainer, what makes me so effective is the fact that I'm not looking to do very specific exercises. I'm targeting muscle groups. And I
Yeah.
want to instill that knowledge into my clients so that when they're not with me,
Mhm.
they can do it on their own, right? So that's how you create a level of fitness where you don't need to come into a gym. You can literally do this at home. Realistically, you can work out at home if you wanted to,
Yeah.
right? During the pandemic, that's what I did. I worked out at home, and I'm targeting body parts. Again, that's more of just like a mindset
Right.
and more of just
Yeah.
like a level of motivation. But regardless, you make fitness a lifestyle, and you can do it wherever you are. You don't have to be in a specific environment, because that becomes a limiting factor when you don't have it, right? That's something that you don't want. And one other thing that I wanted to mention, so for as long as human history has existed, exercise wasn't really a thing, right? We didn't have to exercise.
Yeah.
We just lived life, right? If you wanted to eat, you had to hunt. And when you're hunting, you're doing running, right? You're throwing, so you're doing things like shoulder presses or push press or whatever.
Carry the fucking animal.
Exactly. Or you're on the floor and you need to push yourself off the ground to go catch up to the animals. You're doing push-ups or what's it called? Burpees, right? So like all of these movement patterns have always been something that we've done, but it's only now in today's society where everything is, at least for us, relatively easy, and living in New York, in a first world country, that we don't have to do any of that. We can literally just sit from home and order the food.
Even walking is not a thing. Like the days that I'm working from home, I usually don't walk more than 1,000 steps.
Exactly.
So
that goes to, you need to make fitness a part of your lifestyle, because you don't have to do it. And realistically, you're not really going to be in trouble, or you're not going to be, well, I mean, you will be in trouble long term with your health. But in the short term, you're not really going to feel those the things that are going to be negative, right? You're not going to feel those consequences now. But when you're 50 or 60 and you're suffering from high blood pressure, or you're diabetic, or you're obese, and this could actually happen when you're a kid, right? You don't even have to be old. Like there's kids that are 14, 15 years old that weigh 300-400 pounds. Like, again, this can happen to anybody, just because today doesn't require us to be physically active. So that's why it's important that you do it, regardless if you need to, right? You need to integrate it into your life in such a way. I don't care if it's at a gym setting, right, where you're wanting to network with people and you're wanting to use equipment, or you want to do sports, right, do stuff outside of the gym. So I'm a really big fan of integrating hobbies as a fitness regimen, right? Hiking, right? Rock climbing, martial arts, biking, right? Or you want to play sports, things like basketball, soccer, right? You're playing in an intramural league where you guys are meeting on the weekends and doing that. I'm a big fan of that, simply because now you're integrating competition into the fitness. And when you integrate that, you become much more energized and much more motivated to do the thing, just simply because you're competing against somebody and you want to win. Most of us are motivated to win, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's actually a good topic for later on too, is going solo to the gym or with somebody. Because lately I've been going by myself, and I have seen kind of like a consistent weight pattern. Like I'm not pushing myself to the next level.
Yeah.
To push more. But no, another thing that I kind of want to piggyback on is what you mentioned about like being able to do the gym anywhere. That I'm not there yet, just because I do find my my spot, or like my focus area to like work out and do my best is at the gym.
Right.
But also I feel like creating that routine helps. So even if you're not there yet, that you can work out from your home. Trust me, I dealt with that, and it's not for me. But like it's not for me. Like try.
Listen, and the only way, because I was able to do it, is simply because I found modifications to do exercises that I would do at the gym and just do it at home. But that only comes because I have so much knowledge and I've like studied it, right? Again, for the average person that doesn't have time to sit there and watch YouTube videos or read articles or read books, the gym is where they want to be, just because it's simple, it's concise, all the machine is there, all the equipment is there. You don't really have to think about it. And realistically, if you have absolutely no idea what to do, most of the gyms, if not all of them, have a personal trainer that's there that will help you.
There we go. Yeah. But yeah, so ultimately, how can somebody be able to be consistent with their New Year's resolution? What do you think is the key aspect of all of that eventually?
Again, you need to make fitness ingrained into your lifestyle.
Okay.
Again, it doesn't have to be you going to the gym every day, but it needs to be something where you're constantly active throughout the week.
You're getting your steps. At least you're getting your steps.
Walking, right?
Walking.
You can literally just walk 10,000 steps a day. More power to you, because you're burning extra calories, and that's something that's not going to add into you just gaining weight, right? It's actually going to take away from that because you're always burning extra calories throughout the day.
What about the food?
I mean, the food is something that you have to really get disciplined on.
Because I think that's a key component of fitness, like regardless of working out. I feel like working out, it's, let's say, 30 or 40% of you being healthy. Otherwise, other aspects of it is food and sleep.
Yep.
And I feel like on my personal experience, I manage like going to the gym or working out, just keeping myself, physically active with food, since I usually cook myself, or like it's usually healthy.
Okay.
Like it's not, I don't buy out or like, take out a lot. And then sleep, that's where I'm kind of like struggling the most. I usually sleep 5 to 6 hours a night. And I mentioned to you yesterday, I literally didn't come to the office because my body felt so weak.
Yeah.
That's because I hit legs on Tuesday, so my legs were sore, and I didn't get enough sleep on those previous nights. I was just sleeping like 4 to 5 hours, and ultimately it caught me on Thursday that literally I was sneezing. I was just like unmotivated. I went to the gym, but I was just like,
Yeah. You weren't putting any effort into
yeah,
it.
it was, and I felt tired. And then coming into the office, there's some social aspects that you do here. You don't want to be with a fucking bitch face here and, get angry with everybody. So I prefer staying home. So that was one of the things. But I know the key reason for that happening, for me at least, it was sleep. So how can somebody improve on that? And okay, before you get to it, I'm trying to avoid melatonin.
Okay. No, we don't have to even touch melatonin, right?
Yeah.
What I want you guys to understand is that, so when I'm talking about fitness with anybody, I usually break it down into a couple different components, right? So exercise is one, right? And we can do something related to strength training and do something related to cardio.
Right.
Now, when we're talking about things like your sleep, that's one of the most important components, because if you don't have your sleep dialed in, dude, good luck. Because exactly what happened to you, where your immune system is compromised and you feel really tired and out of it, that's what's going to happen, right? And then finally, the food, right? If your food is not on point, then it doesn't really matter how hard you exercise. If you're always eating more than you're burning, then you're always going to gain weight, or you stay at the same level. Now, again, I broke it down into 3 components. Sometimes I do 4, right? Strength training, cardio, sleep, and your food. For me, sleep is the number 1. Why? Because that's where your body recovers. If you don't sleep well, you don't recover well. If you don't recover well, the next day will be worse, right? Or at the very least, the next day is not going to be as efficient as it could be, or you're going to go into the gym like you did, and you're going to do a half-ass workout where it doesn't really matter, and then you don't have the energy, so you're not going to perform well when you do things like your work, right? Or you're not going to come into the office because you can work from home. Again, neither here nor there. So a couple of things when it comes to sleep: 7 to 8 hours consistently. There are outliers that only need to sleep 4 to 5 hours or less. Good luck with that, because that's probably only 1 to 2% of the total global population. So most of the time, that's not going to be you. So again, 7 to 8 hours consistently. Second, you need to make sure you're waking up and sleeping at the same time every night, right? You should be going to sleep at 10 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. And if you're not doing that, and it's sporadic, right? Sometimes
I gotta go.
Exactly, right? If sometimes you go to sleep at 11 and then the next day you wake up at 7, or you go to sleep at 11, you wake up at 6, that's just disrupting your sleeping cycle, which is not going to elicit quality sleep, right? Again, at the end of the day, it's the consistency that's going to build in the deep sleep and the REM cycles. And once your body is accustomed to it, then you'll be able to get that quality sleep, right? It's not going to happen overnight, right? It's going to take you doing it consistently for maybe 2 or 3 weeks before you start seeing those results. And what ends up happening for most people is that they can do it good for like 2 or 3 days, and then something happens, or they go out and then they go to sleep at 1 in the morning,
5 a.m. in the morning,
and then they just throw everything out.
Yeah, that's true.
All the work that they just did. And last couple things: noise, lights, and the temperature of the room, right? it should be relatively cool when you sleep. You shouldn't be boiling, right? If you are, I know for us guys, most of the time, if we're too hot, we're probably not going to be able to fall asleep. So you need a cool room, right? Somewhere within the range of about, I mean, if you want really cold, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to like 72. That's usually the like ideal sleeping temperature for men and women, and anything in between. Light and noise, right? You want to block out all the light in the room, black out curtains, make sure that there's no light that can be present in the room from outside or inside. Right, if you have any technology in the room, disconnect everything, make sure it's pitch black, you shouldn't see anything. And then noise, if you need to use earbuds or some sort of noise cancellation thing in order to get yourself not to hear anything while you sleep, do that. Because if you wake up in the middle of the night because you hear something, like you hear cars running or you hear trains moving, that's just disrupting the quality of your sleep. At the end of the day, when you fall asleep and you wake up, it should be like you're teleporting. You close your eyes at 10 p.m. and you wake up the next morning at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. without it being disrupted, right? You should not wake up at all.
Right. So we can make this a whole topic of conversation for our next episode maybe. But that's one thing that I've been struggling, is that I don't feel that teleport that you mentioned. Like I go to sleep usually by 10:30ish, 11, but like ultimately I don't fall asleep until like 11:30 or 12. And even though I've been trying to like read before going to bed, like not touch any technology, I've been trying that, trying to be a little bit more consistent with that. But still, for some reason, I don't fucking know, I wake up like at 3-4 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, so that could be, again, we would need more data points in order to actually figure out what the issue is. But again, if you're going to sleep drinking a lot of liquids, you're going to wake up to use the bathroom, right? So that's a problem, right? If you go to sleep right before eating, you're going to wake up feeling thirsty, you're going to drink water. If you wake up because of nightmares, then that just means you're somebody that just has nightmares. I can't really stop that from happening.
Yeah, you see, it's neither or, because like I usually eat dinner by like 7 p.m. ish. Drink water, I go to the bathroom before going to the bed. Nightmares here and there, to be honest, but
I mean, we know that you're a vivid sleeper. Like you have dreams often.
Yeah, most
right?
often, very often.
And again, so I should preface that even if I'm saying like you should be teleporting, there is nothing wrong with you waking up in the middle of the night from time to time.
Teleporting?
Yeah, pretty much like Goku, right?
Thanks.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a matter of like, it shouldn't be something that's happening every single night.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be such that like you're waking multiple times throughout the night.
It's been happening sometimes. Well, like I said, we can talk about this in a whole different episode, just because I don't want it to be too long. But yeah, we will see you with more info about that later on.
We'll make it another topic of conversation.
Facts. Because sleep is an interesting topic, just because I've been struggling and I have been finding ways to better it. Like I've done nidra meditations, listening to podcasts, reading books before, having the thing that smells. I don't know the name of that. The little machine that makes vaporizers.
Yeah.
And nothing helps. Melatonin is my ultimate.
So again, that's another topic of conversation. You can supplement with melatonin, but again, that becomes a crutch. So that's something we don't want to be relying on.
All right. Cheers for that. I'm
Peace.
empty, so I'm
I'm
gonna
empty.
refill this. Peace out. That was a long one. This is a conversation between friends.
None of what is said here should be taken as legal advice.
We are not experts in any way.
Take what resonates and leave the rest.